All right, it is time to start talking about all the things that I've been saying for a little while already, probably for the past 10, 12 years, and now it's coming all to congruency. Let's start talking about the idea of the cabal. So, now more than ever, we are starting to see a lot of the exposure that's coming from what people call the cabal, the Illuminati, the deep state, and so on and so forth. I'm going to try to make a little bit of coherence into what this actually means. First, let's talk about what are governments, what are positions of powers, and what is our perception of these entities and these corporations, these institutes, and everything else. These are places of power that take control over humans' lives and perceptions, and just our general idea of what we are. We know that it's not a particular government that actually makes the decisions for us. Most people know that it's corporations that lobby and control the media, control the government, so on and so forth. Without getting too much into details, we naturally know this. The alternative is to believe 100% what the government says. Otherwise, we are conspiracy theorists. That's it. Without there's only two people: the ones that believe 100% of the government and the officials. Haven't met one myself. And conspiracy theorists is anybody who believes 99% of the government and 1% something else. So no matter how you think about it, unless you're 100% believing in one, you are a conspiracy theorist. Sorry to say that. So the cabal is what you follow through when you see that there is people making decisions for the government, and who's making the decisions for them and who's making the decisions for the other, and so on and so forth. Because this is not official information, you have to dig deep into all the information that's there. But that's not the point of this video. This section is just to basically bring into light that there is some sort of hidden people behind the scenes. And that's what everybody that talks about the deep state calls it, the cabal. Okay, so let's move on to the alliance. The alliance is another concept that's been coming out very recently with QAnon and other sources of information, insiders from a lot of people like David Wilcock and Corey Good, and people who have been at this for a long time. Jordan Sather is another one. And the alliance is something that started forming possibly 40, 30 something years ago, if I remember correctly. And this is people who have been trying to overthrow the cabal because of all the evil things that they have been doing. Obviously, we can see the world as it is. They are the ones responsible for everything that's been happening. If you haven't noticed, then you haven't been paying attention of all the crimes against humanity that have been happening. And people blindly believe that it's just human nature that we've been doing this. No, there's actually people planning all this stuff, and it's time to awaken from that dream. Okay, so the alliance is something that's been going on for a while, and now more than ever, because of 2016 and the election with Trump, it has been accelerating. Now, before you get all crazy about Trump and start throwing flags and little things to me, forget about Trump. Forget about the idea that who he is. It's what's behind him. The cabal is not behind him, and you can see this in different ways. One of them is the constant harassment that you see from media, because media is owned, and if you don't know that the media is owned, then you haven't been paying attention either. Just like any other power in our society. So this has been going for a while, and the alliance finally is taking grip of reality and the physical processes, so they can start incriminating these people. Now, this brings me to indictments, sealed indictments that have been going up exponentially since 2017, I think, or 2018. I think at the time it was only like 2,000 indictments, sealed indictments. For people who don't know, this is like a formal accusation to the Department of Justice for people who have been, they have proofs of the crimes that they have committed, and they have them sealed because otherwise this, goes back to the mafias and syndicates that used to run things. They couldn't just unseal one or make a formal accusation without warning other people around them. So that's why they're all sealed. Nobody knows them except the Department of Justice. So this number started climbing from, I think it was 1,000 and 2,000, something like that. There was, the common amount of number of sealed indictments that the Department of Justice held at one moment. Because there's always, corporations that are doing, things that they shouldn't be doing. So, there's there are indictments for that, or sealed indictments, and so on and so forth. There's so many, institutes and people and, other syndicates that, they want to do wrong things, and there's always a supply of them. But it started escalating from 2,000 to 4,000 to 6,000, 8,000 to 16,000, 40,000. This is public information. Now I think it's up to 500,000. I could be wrong. Might be 150,000. It's in the hundreds of thousands. And those sealed indictments actually mean that there's people who have been presented with proofs of crimes in the Department of Justice. So that's all public information. You can look it up. Obviously, the social media and conventional media, they don't talk about it because it doesn't benefit. Remember, all those communication mediums are, or even the internet is controlled by the cabal. There's reasons why they don't want to talk about that, and they only talk about the coronavirus now, which is a great thing that's happening, by the way. All right, next point that I have is the troops and the deployment of military in the Defender Europe 2020. This is the largest mobilization of U.S. military troops and equipment. I think it's up to 13,000 military equipment, which means even tanks and planes, and I mean all kind of, I'm not familiar with all the military equipment. I was never a military guy. But the fact remains that in 25 years, this is the biggest movement they have done in Europe. Question is why? Well, they say it's for the coronavirus. I don't know about you, but I don't think that's the truth. So this movement is actually to take control over several parts of Europe where they have syndicates and the cabal is actually rooted in. So what we're seeing is basically the deployment of U.S. Military troops and equipment, along with NATO. 17 or 18 nations have collaborated with this to, I forget, it's only like 40, 50,000 military people that have been deployed in all Europe. And this is all, they have nothing against the coronavirus. So there is something going on there too. If you want to believe what conventional media is saying, that's all good. We'll see it in a couple of months anyways. Next thing is that we have been seeing a vast amount of public people, figures, officials, and celebrities catching the coronavirus. Now, if you have noticed in the past, none of the celebrities and people who are known, popular people, have actually come out so fast to talk about their health. They hide it for months, years, sometimes forever. They don't talk about if they got Lyme disease or if they have HIV, cancer, whatever. They never say it. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's tweeting and posting on Instagram, hey, I have the coronavirus. From the Prime Minister of Canada and his wife, I believe, or it could be one or the other, to I think Charles Barkley is or will claim that he has the coronavirus, all the way to now Prince Charles, the Prince of England. They have all been claiming that they have the coronavirus because this is the way out of this persecution that it's happening right now to them, thanks to the alliance. So what we're seeing actually is the alliance working against the cabal in the most admirable way. They have been doing it for 40 years. Finally, they're getting grip on all this, and you can see the results now. Now, this is all going to be contentious, and it's okay because people need to defy their own convictions. And it's not me saying it. I'm just reporting what I see and what I know. Up to you to check all this out. But one of the things that we can actually check, which is amazing too, is the amount of CEOs that have been resigning since last year. I believe the number is 1,600 CEOs that resigned last year. And I think in January it was around 200. Just January alone of this year, 200 CEOs resigned from their positions, including Bill Gates, Bob Bob Iger, I don't know how to pronounce his name, was the Microsoft, Disney, the NBA, Harley Davidson, the McDonald's, they have all resigned recently. Why? That's the question. Google founders just resigned, I think it was in February. Everybody is leaving the boat like rats when it's sinking. So what we're seeing is the biggest mobilization against the cabal that we have ever seen. You can look this up. I'm not making it up. Just Google every one of the people that I've been saying. Look up, the celebrities and public figures that have been coming out now with the coronavirus, which is amazing that they come out. Like Tom Hanks, obviously, is involved. And what they do in the cabal, it's probably part of another video. And I've been saying this for a while, but not publicly. So finally, I'm putting this out for people who are interested and try to, steer their attention away from the coronavirus, which is what they want us to be distracted with while all this stuff is going on. Now, the most important part that I want to finish this video with is that there is a divine plan into all this. And I know this sounds crazy, but there is always a connection between the spiritual realm, and you guys know me for my spirituality and my psychedelic connection with plant medicine and, of course, the spirit of Mother Gaia. And there is a connect. If you think that if you have any sort of spirituality and you believe that everything that's happened in the physical reality has nothing to do with the spiritual reality, you haven't been paying attention. So again, this is all part of the plan. The coronavirus, what was lessened, in my belief and my understanding, was lessened by Mother Gaia, thankfully, and it didn't have the impact that the cabal wanted to have. So the spiritual aspect of this is telling us that this is the time where we all need to be quarantined, and we all need to be just in introspection of all the things that are happening. There is a plan. We're coming out of all this together, and all the people that are responsible for the crimes against humanity are actually coming down. So this is really good news. No matter if you believe in conspiracy theories or not, these people are coming down, and it's really the important part. Finally, this is something that just came out today as I was recording my Spanish video about this, is that the president of my country just got an unsealed indictment today. And he and his people, his narco-militaries who have been just destroying my country where I come from for about 7 years already, and Chavez before him, are getting actually, they're getting the justice that they deserve. This is new. I just got it while I was recording my other video, and it just shows that these unsealed indictments are coming out, and they're coming hard on people. So my advice is to everybody to just pay attention to other things that are not the coronavirus. If they want to get information that's actually happening in the world, please keep calm, keep happy, because everything that's happening is for a reason. And just keep working on your spirituality, because to cope with this reality right now, we have to be the most spiritual people possible, no matter what your religion is, no matter what you believe, and always stay aligned with yourself. So keep in touch, subscribe if you want to know more, and just keep up to date with the work I'm doing. I'll be coming out with more videos about all this stuff because it's really happening, and I'm really, really happy to bring this out. And just leave a comment with any questions. I'm always happy to answer any questions. I'll see you in the next video.